Hello, my name is Jasmine Walker, but most people call me Jazz. I'm fine with each. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I am currently a sophomore at IUPUI, or now known as IUI, studying health service management. I'm super excited to share a little bit about my journey as a life health science intern this year and kind of go over the things that I have done. Unfortunately, most, if not all, of what I've done has been virtual, so I'll show you a couple of pictures of things that I do on a daily. So, a couple of things that I do, since most of it, if not all of it, is virtual, until recently, which I now do go into the clinic of the neuroscience building at Methodist Hospital, but I talk to patients and it is all very confidential. So, I'll be going over the things that I do virtually. So, I'm just going to share my screen and show you our Teams page, which is where most of the magic happens. So this is my Teams page, and I am in the Parkinson's disease group, but I first want to talk about our research group, which is where I do almost all of my transcripts. I work specifically with Stephanie on this, and we transcribe patient interviews, and I have my own folder. I've transcribed all of these and gone over all of the similarities and the differences. I would love to click on them, but I also cannot because they are also confidential. Um, but that is typically what I do. And we also go over the weekly schedules, current projects, hospital access information. And we go here to our red cap. And this is where we go to the different cohorts to interview our patients. So we have the first cohort, which is the ACP and EMR cohort. That's the advanced care planning, and that's basically where they don't have any advanced care planning filled out. Cohort 3, no advanced care planning, but they filled out thanks to the lawyer. Cohort 2, advanced care planning, but not with the hospital. And then cohort 4 is our special cases, and we don't really have very many in there. So if you click on any of the cohorts, you can go to add and edit records. You can make your own record. And then after we interview the patients and we ask them all of the questions, they'll answer them and we will put it into this here. Um, and we will have, this is mine. So I'll go to my name and then I'll put in the record. So I've done 16 of them. So we have the patients in clinic for this different days. So these are just the physicians that I'm gonna show here, the ones that we have during the day and the afternoon. And then I have Monday and Wednesday. However, Wednesday, we typically have very few, if any, patients at all, which I typically don't go on those days. And we're gonna go here, and these are for our Parkinson's disease that we go into the neuroscience building for. Um, so these are all of the cohorts. And one thing that we had to do was we made a script for what we're going to say to our patients. And this is basically like a short version of the script and like what exactly we're going to say. We have longer versions in person. But these are typically what we use. And then we'll like fill these out and we'll have each patient fill them out for us, or we'll fill it out with them. And then we will put it into our database. No names, just numbers. So it's all very confidential. And that is typically what I do on a daily basis, especially recently. But I will also talk a little bit about what I did previously in my last semester. Also, the mic was fake and I just thought it looked really cool. This is something that this was my entire first semester. So we would read these, we would read the entire thing. They would give us a template that I no longer have because I guess we don't use them anymore. And we would fill out each box of the template and then we would be given multiple readings. And that's our entire job to read these, go over exactly what it says about ACP, advanced care planning, and just write down everything that we see so we can see if these doctors think the same, what's the similarities, what is the differences, if it's common knowledge, like asking us, did we know these things? Is this something that should be taught? And we would get like lots of lists of readings. Like this is when we did the effect of social support on informed consent in older adults with Parkinson's disease and their caregivers. We would read this entire thing and we would fill out the form that they gave us. I wonder if I can still find the form in here. I'm not entirely sure, but that is typically what I did for my first semester. That was the entire thing. other than making a script for our potential patients in the future. But that was mostly because Dr. Amber Comber was extremely busy. And Stephanie Bartlett was the one who was with us, so we couldn't get into a clinic at the time. But that was very, very informative for me. It helped me a lot with transcripts because it helped me with a lot of the terminology and what exactly I was looking for. So it wasn't too bad. The reading was just kind of long, but I have no qualms with it. It was fun. There was a lot more readings on this than there is here, but that is what I did for my first semester. So, um, this internship really opened my eyes to the kind of work I want to do in the future. I've always known I wanted to work in healthcare, but now I'm even more driven to focus on health equity and inclusion in hospitals. I'm working towards, hopefully, crossing my fingers, getting a master's degree. And this experience gave me a solid foundation how data, ethics, and people intersect in healthcare decisions. This year, I interned with Dr. Amber Comer in the Department of Health and Human Sciences. Our research focused on end of life medical treatment decisions for hospitalized patients, a heavy but super important topic. The goal was to improve how families and care teams make decisions together during really critical moments, making sure patients' values and wishes are honored. As an intern, I help with a mix of things from reviewing past medical cases and taking notes on patterns and treatment decisions to researching literature and helping prepare materials for upcoming studies, as I have mentioned. And I learned so many skills through this experience from research methods and literature analysis to effective communication and just being more comfortable with ambiguity. Ambiguity? Yeah, that's how I say it, I think. But I think what I'm most proud of is how much better I've gotten at teamwork, especially when taking slash talking through sensitive topics and making sure everyone's voice is heard. I was actually surprised how much this internship connected with what I've been learning in class. In my healthcare leadership and health system courses, we talk a lot about ethical decision making, health disparities in Professor Keeley's class, and the importance of patient centered care. Seeing those concepts play out in real life research to help everything like click. I don't know. It was a great experience and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So thank you so much for watching slash listening. I am sorry that I don't have a lot of images for you because it's mostly online, but I'm very grateful for the LHSI program, for Dr. Calmer, and specifically Dr. Stephanie Bartlett's mentorship, and for everyone who's been part of this journey with me. I can't wait to see where it takes me next. Thank you for watching.